Hello, friends. Welcome. We are here with yet another interesting topic and with a very interesting person, Mr. Amitava Chatterjee. Friends, we all know the progress that the Indian Railways have made in the recent years. Indian government is taking so many initiatives to upgrade its aging railway infrastructure. The Railway Ministry has announced plans to invest $700 billion by 2030. With this massive development shall come numerous opportunities. Hence, we must be aware and ready to avail these opportunities. Friends, my name is Vishnu Agarwal, founder director of Buddhaditya.in, and you are watching a new episode of the video series Atmanirbhar MSME. Our discussion today is on the opportunities for MSMEs in Indian Railways. Let me now introduce our guest for today, Mr. Amitava Chatterjee. Mr. Chatterjee is a mechanical engineer with 40 long years of industrial experience in different private multinationals and, of course, with the Indian Railways and RITES. He has worked with Westman Engineering Company, International Commercial Limited, Billai Engineering Corporation. During his tenure with the Indian Railways, he has engaged in different activities of their workshops and open line activities. And subsequently in RITES, he was superannuated after spending 16 years in the quality assurance department in a senior position. Presently, Mr. Chatterjee is engaged with NABCB to assess the inspection agencies against ISO 17020 requirements. I welcome you, sir. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thanks, Mr. Vishnu. It is
Thank you
my
so much. So let us start with the topic regarding the opportunities for SMEs and MSMEs in Indian Railways. So let me start with a very simple question, sir. Is it beneficial to look for opportunities of business with the Indian Railways?
well. Indian Railways, you know that it is one of the largest network, and among the globe, it is fourth, just behind USA, Russia, and China.
Right,
And in other words, you can say it is the largest network in terms of passenger traffic in the globe itself.
right,
It is having around 1,15,000 kilometer of network in this Indian Railways.
right.
So they are maintaining very good amount of inventory in their rolling stock.
Okay,
Rolling stock means whichever is running on the rail lines. They
okay,
are having around 74,000 passenger coaches to carry the passengers, 2,89,500 freight wagons to carry the goods, and around 12,450 locomotives to carry the carriages and wagons.
wow,
So they are having a big inventory to run the whole network.
right,
So and now the plan is around 2030 they are trying to induct around $700 billion, as you say earlier, to modernize the railway workshops, to upgrade the railway lines
right,
so that they can accommodate very bullet trains, as you know, and the high speed trains, and dedicated freight corridor to reduce the cargo expenses.
okay,
Moreover, they are also trying to introduce geostrategic rail border lines with different countries. So
okay,
it is a huge network coming up in future. And as our PM says that Indian Railway will be the growth engine of the future nation's Vikas Jatra, and it will be the he has apprehended that it will be contributing to the most to make the Indian economy a dream 5 trillion economy. So to cater the huge requirement of this rail network, there are different opportunities are cropping up. So there is a scope of MSMEs to go for that, because railway has strategically decided to either partly or totally close up their railway workshops, which are having the infrastructure for making the components required for maintenance of the rail rolling stocks.
Okay.
As I have told what is rolling stock earlier. So there are opportunities which are coming up for these requirements to make the components for railway rolling stock, railway lines, signal and telecommunications items. So many areas are cropping up. So it is the time to MSMEs to grab the opportunity and go all out for avail to avail the opportunities.
Very well answered, sir. I mean, Indian Railways is going to certainly play a huge role if India has to achieve the 5 trillion target that our honorable Prime Minister has set. So, just if I request you to focus and let's say little bit more on the dedicated freight corridor. What is a dedicated freight corridor?
Dedicated freight corridor means it is a corridor where whenever a wagon or train is coming, it is coming and they cannot go for high speed because there are some hindrances.
Okay.
Sometimes you have seen that some elephant is coming, some other things are coming, even the runover cases are also there, and they cannot go for high speed also because there are some constant in the rail lines.
Right.
So they are having now dedicated corridor for wagons and dedicated corridor for high speed trains, and it
Okay.
will be probably be a fenced lines also, so
Oh,
nobody can intervene in between.
I see. So basically, dedicated freight corridor will ultimately reduce the cost of freight for the companies.
Yeah, it will cut down the cargo costs.
Ah, so ultimately, it will have an effect on the bottom line of all the companies.
Right, right right you are.
So that's a very good thing that you have said, sir. So this brings to as you said that there are a lot of opportunities for the MSMEs and MSMEs should be ready to grab the opportunity. So my next question then is, sir, what are the minimum requirement of a person to look for the business with Indian Railways or for MSMEs to look for business with Indian Railways? Are there any such requirement?
See, like a normal businessman, first of all they have to go for, trade license. They have to go for, I mean, GST numbers. They have to go for dongles for digital certificate with the company's name, of course, and the internet facility for the bank, etc., so that they can start the business. Start like other business also, they have to go for these basic requirements.
Okay.
After that, they have to register their name in the vendor list of RDSO, that is Railway Standards and Design Organizations.
Right.
And in some cases, the production units, they have to enlist their name in the production units, that is ICF, RCF, MCF. ICF stands for Integral Coach Factory of Chennai, whereas RCF stands for Railway Coach Factory at Patiala, and MCF stands for Modern Coach Factory at Raebareli.
Right.
And other production units like for locomotives like CLW, that is Chittaranjan locomotives
Yeah.
for electrical engines, diesel locomotive in Patiala,
Hmm.
in DMW diesel modernization works. So they can enlist their name to grab other opportunities floated by them.
I see.
And after that, they have to search for the general tenders in the ireps.gov.in or eprocure.gov.in, where they can see all the tenders floated by the all the railways, and they can apply for that according to their suitability.
So, say if I am a company and I now want to do business with the Indian Railways and I find some opportunity, first I have to comply with all the statutory requirements. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that is for all the businesses that I have need to do. Then the next thing that you said is to get registered my company or my LLP or whichever entity I am. सो आईसीएफ आरसीएफ, तो सर हम अगर साधारण बिजनेस एक एमएसएमई है, हमको ये लिंक कैसे मिलेगा? सर्टेनली आई नीड एन इंटरनेट, ये शुड आई गूगल इट, या मैं दर्शक को ये जानना चाहेंगे कि मेरे को ये कहाँ लिस्ट मिलेंगे, कहाँ वेयर कैन आई रजिस्टर?
See, register means in the RDSO, if you Google it, RDSO, ICF, RCF, MCF, wherever you Google it, you will find their particular portal. And in that portal, you can register your name as a registered vendor. They will definitely not, they will definitely audit your company and they will make you suitable. Only then you will be eligible to enlist your name in their vendor list.
Viewers, please note down these links where you can register, or you can simply Google it as Mr. Chatterjee said. Sir, as you said, we have to register ourselves as a vendor there. Now, my next question, since our video is all about MSME and making the MSMEs Atmanirbhar, so my next question is, sir, is there any relaxations made by Indian Railway to promote MSME vendors, specifically MSME vendors?
Well, this is a very good question. Yes, Indian Railway has already identified, right now, they have already identified 600 items to reserve for MSMEs. That means
Wow,
Indian Railway has been decided to procure it from MSMEs only those items.
great, great.
And those items include the cleaning items, stationaries, IT items, and even in the railway maintenance schedules also they have introduced MSMEs to participate because Indian Railway has come up with a solution of reducing the workshop activities.
Okay,
So to cater those requirements, they have to promote these MSMEs. There is no other go.
I see.
So they have already reserved some items and they are in the process of even introducing more and more items. And even as you know, in the defense sector, the import embargo is there and it is simply being applied in the railway sectors also. It has not happened so far, but it is going to be happened. So MSMEs have to grab all these opportunities which is being coming up. And as you say, what is a relief? Relief means they have already declared, Indian Railway has already declared that the MSMEs are exempted from paying the tender cost as well as the EMD, that is earnest money for participating in the railway tenders. They don't require any payment to be made against the tender cost or EMD for participating in the railway tenders.
That's a great insight that, sir, that you are giving us. Before our viewers would want to know how to go about it, sir, my penultimate question to you is, I mean, first, where can we get the list? Is it possible to get the 600 list for which the Indian Railways are going to select the MSMEs? And second, what are the opportunities of doing business with Indian Railways?
Opportunities I have already told you, but how to
Right.
go about it, the list and all, you will get in different. See, railway is having 18 zones.
Oh,
18 zones. So if every zone has identified of their own and they are now consolidating all those items. So you have to now search for those in the zone requirement, and in the zone requirement in the railway stores department they will tell you what are the items which have been already reserved for the MSMEs. When they float the tenders also, they identify that it is reserved for MSMEs only and nobody else can participate for this.
understand, sir. I mean, we are done with the questions now. But to sum up, what I understand is that with the amount of investment that is due to come in the Indian Railways and the massive development work that is going on, there is a huge opportunity for business in the Indian Railways. And specifically, as you said, they have embarked few categories for the MSMEs only. So it's not only promoting the Indian Railways, they are also focusing on making the MSMEs Atmanirbhar in true sense, because if they can participate, they are the largest contributors to Indians' GDP and the employment.
Yeah. So before I conclude that one, so I would like to discuss with you the basic things about Indian Railway. How, what are the scopes left to MSMEs and how they are going to participate in this in detail. So there are two channels, there are two channels of
Okay.
procurement from Indian Railways.
Okay.
Two channels. One is from GEM. GEM means it is a government e-portal. Everybody knows. Through GEM, what are the procurements railway make? Railway make basically which is not unique to Indian Railways. That means all the furnitures, stationaries, anything and everything which is not unique to railways, but it is required by railways.
Okay.
So for this paper, stationaries, whatever you name, which is
Okay.
not actually unique to Indian Railways. So that is being procured from GEM portal. For that portal, for procuring from that portal, you have to participate in the GEM registered as a GEM registered company. So you have to register your name in the GEM portal and get the opportunity for participating.
First is
And
the
the,
GEM portal. Yeah.
yeah, GEM portal. And the secondly, which is unique to railways,
Okay.
which is unique to railways means any railway components, any locomotive components which are not required by railways, other than railways. So these are the unique things which are being circulated through irips.gov.in. So you have to search those opportunities, and there are two things. There could be manufacturing and there could be service. Service means, that means you are supplying manpower, you are supplying skill upgradation modules. So no material is required for that. So for suppose you are somebody has floated for supplying skilled labor, skilled supervisor for upgradation of their maintenance.
Right.
So there you get the opportunity. And material part means, when you are giving some material, that means you are adding value to the raw material. Basically you are purchasing something and you are adding value to that. So that is the catch. While you are going for a participating in the tender, basically what happens, you are getting the detail of the railway tender. Suppose rehabilitation of railway coach or some items,
Right.
so many items which may compromise several other items also. So what is the basic thing? Basic thing is how you will go about it. That means railway, if you want to participate, how railway is evaluating that, I mean, that bid. They will evaluate that thing as the, see, normally in government sector, who is lowest, they can grab the opportunity.
Yeah.
So basically you
L1
have to be
bidder.
very cost effective.
Yeah.
L1 bidder.
Right.
So to become L1 bidder, you have to apply your engineering sense, technical sense, as well as commercial sense.
Right.
So what are the components which is contributing to that?
Right.
What are the components? Suppose you are getting a detail of a tender.
Okay.
It will consist of so many items.
Right.
Suppose one item, you can segregate those things, whether it can be made in house or it can be outsourced. Outsourced means you don't have to have all the opportunities, all the items to be made on your premises. So you
Yeah.
can purchase so many small items also to make the assembly.
Yeah.
So you have to first segregate those items as in-house made items, as bought out items, and as bought out finished items. That
Okay.
means bought out means you are not going to do anything
It.
after procuring it.
Yeah.
You have to do some work, and bought out finished means you don't need to have anything to do, just you procure it and fit it in your assembly.
Right.
So these are the things. So after getting those things, What you have to add? You have to add the GST, and after that, very important part, the inspection part. Railway normally get the inspection done through a third party.
Okay.
Basically, the threshold limit of 5 lakhs per tender. That means if the tender value is less than 5 lakhs, then the consignee is the person who is going to inspect your material and clear the material.
Okay.
But if it exceeds 5 lakhs, then some other third party agency like RITES is going to handle it.
Oh,
So in RITES inspection, they charge normally 0.9% of the tender value. So you have to consider that component also.
that is a cost for
So
me.
after the costing is done, you have to, yeah, it is a cost for you.
Yeah.
So 0.9% you have to add for third party inspection cost, and you have to add those things. After that, that corporate overhead or the profit, whatever you decide, you go for that. But these components you should not miss. Otherwise, your cost price will be not, appropriate. So this thing you have to born in the mind, so that you can proceed for the L1
Yeah, yeah.
and all, and reasonable rate should be there.
Great insight, sir. That is where experience counts, and we'll need certainly our visitor viewers and MSMEs, those who want to do business, would seek your valuable advice. Viewers, this brings us to the end of the series. I am thankful to Mr. Amitava Chatterjee for his valuable time that he has given us. It is certainly going to help the small and medium enterprise in a big way. In case of any queries, do drop in a mail at the below mail ID, and also visit our website at www.budhaditya.in. Do register your company and on our platform to get more business, more funds, and more recognition. So thank you once again. Thank you for the valuable time.
Thank you very much. But once again, I would like to add one thing. See, for any growth of a nation, always the small industries contribute maximum.
That's
And Indian Railways as a organized sector will help, that much I can ensure you, will help unlashing the true value of the MSMEs
right.
in near future.
That's
Thank you very much.
great advice, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you, viewers.